11. Amazing people. Vocabulary. Number 1. Match the meanings of these words, then check in a dictionary. The first one is answered as an example. Let's move to the next one. Number 2. Achievement. Yes, achievement is something good that you have done successfully. Number 3. Compete. Great. To compete is to take part in a race or a competition. Number 4. Kung Fu. Yes, it's a Chinese sport which involves fighting with your hands and feet. Number 5. Medal. Yes, it's a metal disc that you can win when you do or play a sport. Number 6. Muscle. Great. It is something inside your body that you can use to move. Number 7. Powerlifting. Great. It's a sport where people lift weights above their heads. Number 8. Wheelchair. Yes, the last one. It's a chair with wheels used by someone who cannot walk. Now let's read about Mahmoud Muhammad Yusuf. He is an athlete. Mahmoud Muhammad Yusuf was a champion in Kung Fu and won many medals in the sport at secondary school. After a terrible accident, he now has a disability, which means he has to use a wheelchair. Mahmoud cannot walk again, but that has not stopped his love of sport. He decided to practice a sport which you can play in a wheelchair, and he became very good at wheelchair tennis. He has competed in many international wheelchair tennis competitions and became one of the best wheelchair tennis players in Egypt. That is an amazing achievement. But Mahmoud has not stopped there. He also helps people who are in wheelchairs to stay fit and gives talks to help other people with disabilities. Another athlete to read about is Amani Ali. Amani Ali is an Egyptian Paralympic powerlifter who won a bronze medal in the 2016 Paralympic Games in Brazil in 2016. Amani had an illness called polio when she was younger, and this affected the muscles in her feet. She did not start powerlifting until she was 20, although she has always loved the sport. She achieved her Paralympic success in Brazil aged 40, and at a very difficult time. Her father died 2 days before the competition, so she wanted to win the medal for him. She also came fourth in the London Paralympic Games in 2012. Another important figure to read about is Tanni Grey-Thompson. Tanni Grey-Thompson is a British Paralympian wheelchair racer who has a medical condition called spina bifida. She is unable to walk, so she uses a wheelchair to get around. Tanni first competed in the 400 meters and wheelchair basketball at the Paralympics in Seoul in 1988. Tanni won 16 Paralympic medals in athletics events from the 100 meters up to the 800 meters, including 11 gold medals. Since she retired from athletics in 2004, Tanni has worked for many different organizations which help people, especially disabled people and women, to enjoy the benefits of sports. Let's move to the vocabulary exercise. Number 1. The space of something refer to successful and unsuccessful times. Yes, the highs and lows. Number 2, to space is to work in an organized way to change things. Good job. Campaign. Number 3, at or and something is a sloping surface joining two places of different levels. Ramp. The last one. A or an space is someone who tries to change things. Great. Activist. Focus on language. Relative clauses. Defining relative clauses give necessary information about a person or thing. For example, Mr. Camel is the man that or who teaches us Arabic. David Copperfield is the book that or which we read last year. For non-defining relative clauses with commas, such non-defining clauses, they give us more information about a person or thing. We call it extra information. Mr. Camel, who teaches us Arabic, lives in Cairo. You can omit such a part from the sentence. David Copperfield, which we read last year, is a very interesting book. You can omit that one also. Pay attention to these notes. Who refers to persons and which refers to things. That can replace who and which in the defining relative clauses. Which and where refer to places, but notice the difference. That's the shop where my brother works. That's the shop which my brother works in. Here we have the word in. That's the shop which sells toys. So if you want to speak about a place where you do something, you can use the word where. Look at this example. My brother works in the shop. So we can use where here, or in which, because they are the same. That is the shop which sells toys. I'm not talking about something that we can do inside the shop, but we are talking about something the shop does. It sells toys. Defining relative clauses. Defining relative clauses give us important or necessary information about people, things, or places. They tell us about the person, thing, or a place. For example, the man who or that lives next door is a teacher. Here I'm talking about a specific person who does something. This is called a defining relative clause, who or that lives next door. This is the photo which or that shows our school. The town where I was born is in the south of Egypt. For defining relative clauses, they don't use commas around the clause. Pay attention to that. Note, in formal written English, whom can be used instead of who after prepositions in sentences like this. The person from whom I received the letter is the manager of the company. We can use who in informal English like this. The person who I received the letter from is the manager of the company. Non-defining relative clauses. Non-defining relative clauses give us more information about a person or thing. Omar, who is an activist, lives next door. We can omit this part. This photo, which I took, shows our school. Aswan, which is in the south of Egypt, is where I was born. In non-defining relative clauses, use commas around the clause. It's correct to say London, which is the capital of Britain, is in the south of England. You can omit this part and the sentence won't lose anything. It is incorrect to say London who because it's a place. You can say London who. There is a pronoun who refers to people, which refers to things or places. Hatim's uncle, who is a doctor, lives in Cairo. This one is correct. It's incorrect to say Hatim's uncle, who he is a doctor, lives in Cairo. Relative pronouns replace pronouns like he. Let's answer an exercise to apply what you have learned through this lesson. Exercise number 7. The relative clauses in these sentences give necessary information. Complete the sentences with who or which. Number 1, Amani Ali is an Egyptian Paralympic powerlifter who has won a bronze medal. Number 2, a charity activist is someone, yes, who campaigns for a change in the world. So number 2 becomes who. Number 3, we are a charity, this is not a person, which campaigns for equal opportunities for disabled people. This is the lift, it is something, you should use which here. Yes, this is the lift which can take you up to the 4th floor. Powerlifting is a sport which is popular in Egypt. I'm a person who wants to make a real difference in the world.